All right, sir. So we are just looking at Nigeria at 63. Our present Nigeria economy, 63 years after independence, how do you say we have really failed?
Well, we can look at it from many angles, but on the whole, we could have done better. There is no doubt about it at all. We have failed to take advantage of our huge population. We have not optimized our potentials in that respect. Even though we have an enterprising people, vibrant people, but we have not been able to channel that properly. Is it a question of leadership? Probably. And of course, not just human resources now. Our minerals lay untapped under the soil also. We will not be able to take maximum advantage of that. Even presently, there are issues about our mineral policy, our mining policy. Then we will not be able to go beyond the raw materials that we used to export in 1960. Are we adding value to our exports? We are still exporting crude oil, raw agri products, raw mineral products. It's 3 years we should have gone beyond that. By now we should have been a prosperous nation, comparable to the likes of Malaysia, India, Indonesia, even Singapore. We were all at the same level as at 1960, but they've advanced. Is it an African thing? Well, I don't know, it's debatable. But I think leadership in Africa, they need to take a look at themselves and question themselves on why countries in some other continents have developed a bit more rapidly than we are doing. We shouldn't be in a position where all our youths are trying to migrate out of the country. We shouldn't be in this position at all. We are too blessed in terms of human resources, mineral resources, good climate, no natural disasters, to still be in this retrogressing position, because that's where I see it. Because if we check all the indices, our GDP per capita as of 1960 was way beyond what it is now in dollar terms. Every year, our GDP per capita drops. And it's simple to see. For most people, whatever you're earning in January is more than what you're earning now, if you dollarize it. Because if your salary stays the same, and Naira is now 1,000 to $1, maybe it was 500 in January, that means in real terms, you're earning half of what you are earning in January. We shouldn't be in this kind of position. So we are retrogressing in some ways economically. Are there areas that we could reflect on as positive? Well, maybe self-rule, but again, what has self-rule given back to us? We need to take a look at that. So we need to sit down, reappraise ourselves, and channel our path forward. We need to get to a turning point fairly quickly. By turning, those of us that did basic maths, there is something we call the ydx when it becomes zero. That's the inflection point. And then you start to climb up. Some countries have gone through that phase before. We see what is happening in Rwanda. You know, I don't want to mention Ghana because those people ended up killing themselves, each other. You know, so I don't want to. I don't think we need to murder people to get to a turning point. But we need a focused leadership. We need a leadership by example, and a political class that will not be a financial burden on the people. That's a huge area of concern. We have so much debts overhanging on us. It's not the fault of the people, it's the fault of the leadership. The common man on the street is not responsible for taking loans. And again, what were the loans used for? Our infrastructure is still in a state of decay. So all these loans that we are repaying back, what exactly were they used for? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. And like I said, whenever we get to that turning point, we start start doing things rightly. We cannot be doing the same thing the same way and be hoping for another set of results. It's not possible. It's an old adage. So that's the situation in summary.
So 63 years after we have a new leader at the helm of affairs, so what should the leader be doing at this time to ensure that we have that turning point to talk about?
It's a huge challenge for the current administration, because, for example, about a year or two ago, the then Minister of Finance made a statement that they weren't sure that they could allocate anything for development in 2023. I think she said it last year. And really, if you look at it, our budgets were being swallowed up by the trial of payments on fuel subsidy, our debt repayments, and like I said, our recurrent expenditure on our political class is humongous. Can we afford 36 states, each with its own state of, legislative houses? The weight on the economy is so huge. And the lack of fiscal discipline at every level of government is shocking. And it keeps getting worse every passing year. So what I'm saying is the kind of leadership we need now is the type that should say, okay, okay, what we need now is the type of leadership that won't just tell us to tighten our belts. We need a leadership that we can all see that even the leadership is tightening its belt. And by that, I don't mean a human being. I don't mean just the president alone. The political class. A decision has to be taken. They need to, we need to be focused together to exercise fiscal discipline. That's the only way you can carry the masses along. They need to cut down on their expenditure and their flamboyance, so to say. There is no reason why a public official should be moving with 6 cars, 7 cars, 10 cars, each costing an average of 100 million. We all know what 600 million can do. Maybe to sink a borehole, some boreholes, to tar some local roads. But no matter the state of the naira, 600 million is still a lot of money. Not to talk about the cost of fuel and maintenance. So we need to set our priorities right. And we need to start thinking of the next generation. That's the only thing this developed world does that we don't do. We are eating our tomorrow today. They are, conversely thinking of the next generation. And that's why our youth can go there and find jobs. Because they are thinking of creating jobs, creating opportunities for the incoming generations. But we are eating up our tomorrow today.
So going forward 63 years after, what should we be doing at this time?
Economically, let's focus on exports. Let's focus on growing our industries. Let's focus on adding value to whatever we produce. Otherwise, we are exporting jobs. If I send crude oil out and somebody refines this and send petroleum products back to me, the person have exported the jobs out, because the nationals of those countries where the things are refined are the ones that will be kept in employment. Meanwhile, we have a lot of people roaming about here without jobs. So why are we doing that? So these are the things. And I also said, as part of what I said yesterday, our ways of managing our cabinets need to be more scientific. When you choose a cabinet, give them clear tasks, key result areas, attach key performance indicators to it, so that you can hold them accountable. If you don't do that, your commissioners or ministers, they will come in, they will be receiving visitors, taking photographs with people. Before you know it, 4 years are over without anything to show for it. So they need to be held accountable. If possible, let each minister give quarterly press conferences to update us on whatever he has achieved. If it is a Minister of Works, let him give us reports on roads in kilometer terms. If it is, I don't know who is in charge of the port, to make the ports more efficient. whoever is in charge of trade, if one of the coefficients should be AFCFTA, okay, what progress have we made? Export-wise, what type of progress have we made? You know, so these are the ways you can hold people accountable and let them account for every day within the 4-year tenure.